Have you ever stopped to consider whether the time you go to bed every night may no longer be right for your body after the age of 60? Maybe you have gone to bed at 11:30 or even midnight for most of your adult life. It felt perfectly normal at 40. It may have felt perfectly normal at 50. So why should anything suddenly change now? Here is what most people do not realize. After 60, the clock on your bedroom wall stays exactly the same. But the clock inside your body does not. The hormones that make you sleepy, the temperature changes that prepare your brain for rest, the timing of your deepest sleep, and even the hour your body naturally wants to wake up can all begin shifting earlier. And when your bedtime no longer matches that internal rhythm, something strange can happen. You may spend 8 hours in bed and still wake up exhausted. You may fall asleep in the chair at 8:30 at night, force yourself to stay awake until 11:30, and then suddenly find that you cannot sleep. You may wake at 3 or 4 in the morning and assume something is wrong with you. Or you may sleep late, wake feeling foggy, and spend the first half of the day trying to feel like yourself again. That internal timing system is called your circadian rhythm. It coordinates your brain, eyes, hormones, temperature, sleep, and wakefulness. And aging can gradually change when that system wants you asleep. Evening darkness begins a biological sequence that prepares your body for rest. After 60, that sequence often starts earlier than it once did. So the bedtime that suited you at 40 may feel different at 68. Light entering your eyes is one of the strongest signals to that clock. Morning sunlight helps tell your brain when a new day has begun. Over time, your entire sleep-wake cycle can shift toward an earlier schedule. The problem begins when your routine ignores that shift. Your body temperature also tends to fall as sleep approaches. You may notice yourself yawning much earlier than you used to. Melatonin signaling also rises as the evening becomes darker. Bright light can delay that natural nighttime signal. Your deepest sleep is usually concentrated earlier in the night. That makes the first part of sleep especially important. Your body may also begin wanting to wake earlier in the morning. When internal and external clocks disagree, sleep can become fragmented. You can feel tired early, alert late, and exhausted the next morning. So timing may matter almost as much as total time in bed. So what bedtime actually makes sense after 16? For many older adults, an earlier bedtime becomes a practical starting point. If you naturally wake around 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning, a bedtime around 9:30 to 10:30 may fit that rhythm better. But that is a starting window, not a universal rule. Your wake time should help determine when bedtime makes sense. Work backward from the time your body reliably wants to wake. Then, allow enough opportunity to get the sleep you actually need. For most adults, that still means roughly 7 to 9 hours. A short sleep window can leave you tired even with perfect timing. The goal is enough sleep opportunity, not chasing a magic clock number. If your old bedtime is too late, shift it gradually. Small changes are usually easier for your body to absorb. When bedtime and internal timing line up, sleep often feels easier. Think of it as bringing 2 clocks back into alignment. The morning after, you should feel more reasonably alert. Different older adults may need different schedules. There is no single bedtime that is correct for every person over 60. Your natural wake pattern gives you one of the best clues. The real target is alignment between sleepiness bedtime and wake time. Number 1, stop choosing your bedtime first. Start with the hour you naturally need or want to wake. If that time is consistent, it becomes your strongest anchor. Try to keep that wake time fairly similar from day to day. Then expose yourself to morning light soon after getting up. Outdoor light is especially useful when it is practical. Your eyes send that light information directly to your brain clock. That signal helps stabilize the timing of the entire day. It can also make you feel more alert in the morning. Compare that with waking at wildly different times every day. Once wake time is stable, work backward to choose bedtime. Adjust bedtime until the sleep window is long enough. Give yourself a realistic opportunity to obtain sufficient sleep. If you wake early, that may require an earlier bedtime. Morning light then reinforces the same schedule the next day. Over time, waking can begin to feel less forced. A stable morning often leads to more predictable evening sleepiness. Then bedtime becomes a response to rhythm, not a random decision. Repeat that pattern for several days before judging the result. Consistency gives your internal clock a chance to settle. Number 2, going to bed too late can steal your best sleep window. You may feel sleepy early and then deliberately push through it. Television, bright lights, and stimulation can make that easier. But your internal clock may already be asking for sleep. You keep yourself awake even while your body is clearly tired. Eventually, that first wave of sleepiness can fade. Then you get a strange second wind late at night. By the time you finally reach bed, morning is already closer. Your available sleep window has quietly become shorter, and your wake time may not move later to compensate. So you wake early after going to bed far too late. Respecting natural sleepiness can prevent that unnecessary sleep loss. Deep sleep is also concentrated earlier in the night for many people. Waiting too long may push bedtime past your strongest sleepiness. The next morning, fatigue can feel much worse. Even a simple walk may feel unusually difficult. The pattern is predictable: sleepy early, awake late, tired tomorrow. Instead, consider turning things off when sleepiness clearly arrives. Treat that first strong yawn as useful information. Sometimes the healthier choice is simply going to bed earlier. Number 3, going to bed too early can also create problems. Imagine someone who gets into bed before she is truly ready to sleep. That can create a very long period between bedtime and morning. She may fall asleep early and wake again in the middle of the night. Then she spends hours awake, wondering why sleep has disappeared. The night becomes split into sleep wakefulness and more waiting. By dawn, she may already have been awake for hours. Time in bed can become much longer than actual time asleep, and more time in bed does not automatically produce more sleep. Eventually, the bed itself can become associated with frustration. Clock watching can make that anxiety even stronger. A better approach may be moving bedtime slightly later. Keep wake time steady while adjusting bedtime in small steps. That can make the sleep window more compact. Sleep often becomes more continuous when timing fits actual sleepiness. Morning can then arrive closer to the end of the sleep period. Compare that with spending 4 wakeful hours in bed overnight. A more consolidated night often feels better the next day. The goal is not to make bedtime as early as possible. It is to match bedtime with real sleepiness and your wake schedule. Number 4, consistency may matter more than the exact minute. Try going to bed at roughly the same time most nights and wake at roughly the same time most mornings. Large swings can make your internal timing less predictable. Repeated cues teach your body when sleep and wakefulness should happen. Dim your lights at a similar point each evening. Get morning light at a similar point each day. Those regular light-dark signals help strengthen circadian timing. A simple evening routine can make this much easier. Dinner, dimmer lights, calm activity, then bed. After a while, the sequence begins to feel automatic. That predictability can make sleepiness arrive more naturally. Your body clock responds to repeated patterns. Weekend sleep should not shift dramatically later if you can avoid it. You can still relax without moving your entire schedule by hours. Small variations are normal. Huge swings are what matter more. Use 1 or 2 consistent cues to tell your body the day is ending. Think of your circadian rhythm as a clock that likes regular signals. With consistency, waking may start happening before the alarm. That stable rhythm supports everything else you are about to do. Number 5. Your evening routine can move your sleep window. Start by letting the household become quieter after dinner. Bright, late-night lighting can keep your brain more alert. Dimmer light sends a very different signal. Your eyes are constantly telling your brain how much light is present. Less evening light allows nighttime biology to unfold more naturally. Phones can be especially stimulating when held close in a dark room. Putting the phone down can make the transition easier. Television, tablets, and phones all add light and mental stimulation. A book under a dim lamp is usually less activating. Emotionally intense news can keep your nervous system engaged. Turning it off gives your brain a chance to settle. Your heart and mind both need time to downshift. Caffeine late in the day can also interfere with sleep. It can remain active in your body for many hours. If sleep is poor, try moving caffeine earlier. Alcohol may make you drowsy, but can fragment sleep later. Water or a non-caffeinated drink may be a better evening choice. Large late meals can also make some people uncomfortable in bed. An earlier, lighter evening meal may feel easier to sleep after. A warm shower can become another consistent bedtime cue. Keep evening stretching gentle rather than turning it into a workout. Choose calm activities as the room gradually becomes darker. When a genuine wave of sleepiness arrives, pay attention to it. Do not keep forcing yourself awake just because the clock says so. Make the bedroom part of that quiet transition. Keep it cool, dark, and as uncluttered as practical. Go to bed relaxed rather than mentally activated. Over time, your body clock can begin associating these cues with sleep. That is how a simple routine can support a more natural bedtime. Number 6. Naps can either help your night or quietly disrupt it. A brief nap earlier in the day may be perfectly reasonable. You should wake feeling refreshed, not lost and groggy. Earlier naps are less likely to collide with nighttime sleep. Long naps late in the day are a different story. You may wake after dark and feel completely out of rhythm. Then bedtime arrives, but your sleep pressure has already been reduced. Think of sleep pressure as something that builds while you stay awake. A long, late nap can drain too much of that pressure. If you need rest, keep it brief and earlier when possible. A simple timer can help prevent an accidental 2-hour nap. Afterward, get up, open the room, and return to daytime activity. A short walk can help you feel fully awake again. Late naps can delay the next wave of nighttime sleepiness. Brief early naps are much less likely to do that. Be especially careful about dozing in the recliner during evening television. If you are sleepy too early, stand up and do something calm. Then let bedtime arrive at the time you actually planned. Preserving sleep pressure can make nighttime sleep more consolidated. With naps, both timing and duration matter. Here is what a simple evening schedule could look like. Finish a normal dinner and begin lowering the pace of the evening. Later, dim the overhead lights and use softer lamps. Put the phone somewhere away from the bed. Choose a calm activity, such as reading. As the evening progresses, allow your body to become more relaxed. Notice the first clear signs of natural sleepiness. When they arrive, do not force yourself to stay awake. Brush your teeth and begin the same routine you use each night. Change into sleepwear and move toward the bedroom. Keep the room cool, dark, and free from active screens. Check the clock once if needed, then stop monitoring every minute. Turn off the bedside lamp. Settle into bed with relaxed shoulders and slow breathing. Let your internal clock and the darkness work together. The first part of the night is when deep sleep becomes important. Then allow the night to progress without constantly checking the time. Morning light will eventually begin entering the room. Wake near your normal time, even after an imperfect night. Open the curtains and let daylight in. Step outside for gentle morning light when practical. That morning signal helps stabilize the next night too. Then start your day instead of chasing more sleep. That simple cycle is more powerful than a complicated bedtime ritual. But what if you choose the right time and still cannot sleep? Then bedtime may not be the only issue. Breathing problems can repeatedly interrupt sleep without you realizing it. A partner may notice snoring, gasping, or pauses in breathing. You may wake suddenly without understanding why. Daytime sleepiness can persist even after enough time in bed. Restless legs can also make it difficult to stay comfortable. You may feel an urge to keep moving your legs at night. Frequent bathroom trips can fragment sleep again and again. Some medications can also affect alertness or sleep timing. Do not change prescribed medication without discussing it with a clinician. Persistent sleep problems deserve a proper conversation with your doctor. Bring up breathing, movement, urination, medication, and mood symptoms. Describe what actually happens across the night. Sometimes a formal sleep evaluation may be useful. Finding a specific cause can be more reassuring than guessing. A clinician can also check for other health factors that matter. The point is not to blame every problem on bedtime. Different causes require different solutions. A good bedtime cannot replace medical evaluation when symptoms persist. What about sleeping pills? They may help in some situations, but they also have trade-offs. Some sedating medicines can leave older adults groggy the next morning. That can matter because nighttime falls become more dangerous with age. Use sleep medication under professional guidance. Medication is not the only treatment for chronic insomnia. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia is strongly supported by evidence. It changes the behaviors and thoughts that keep insomnia going. A simple sleep diary can reveal patterns you may otherwise miss. If you cannot sleep lying in bed, frustrated for hours may backfire. Sometimes it helps to leave the bed briefly until sleepiness returns. That can rebuild the association between bed and sleep. Keep the same wake time while practicing these changes. Get morning light even after a poor night. Improvement usually happens gradually, not in one perfect night. Over time, fear about sleep can become less intense. Behind-all treatment can form a strong foundation. Your clinician can help decide what combination fits you best. If medication is used, follow the plan exactly as prescribed. The goal is sustainable sleep, not simply sedation. There is one mistake I do not want you to make tonight. Do not suddenly move your bedtime by 3 hours. Instead, shift it by only 15 to 30 minutes. Hold that change for several nights before moving again. Keep your morning wake time as stable as possible. Use morning light to reinforce the new timing. Your body may begin getting sleepy slightly earlier on its own. That is a sign the internal clock is adapting. Compare that with a huge sudden shift that leaves you frustrated. Do not go to bed before you are truly sleepy. Read quietly or relax until sleepiness appears. Then enter bed at the slightly adjusted time. That usually creates less struggle. Wake at your usual hour the next morning. Small changes accumulate when you repeat them. Track the pattern over days, not minutes. Think of the process as a staircase, not an elevator. Eventually, your external schedule and internal rhythm can move closer together. That is the kind of adjustment your body can actually learn. Now consider what this might look like in real life. Consider a 72-year-old retired accountant I will call Robert. Robert often started nodding off in his recliner after dinner. By early evening, he was fully asleep in front of the television. Later, he woke, confused, and realized much of the evening was gone. Then he forced himself to stay awake again. He finally went to the bedroom close to midnight, but by then, he had already slept for hours in the recliner. His body still woke near the same early hour the next morning. So breakfast often began with fatigue and frustration. His sleep had effectively been split into 2 separate pieces. The accidental evening nap was a major part of the problem, so he began standing up when that early sleepiness arrived. He dimmed the lights and started his bedtime routine sooner. Then he went to bed closer to his natural sleepiness window. He found it easier to fall asleep there. His night became more consolidated. He also got morning light soon after waking. The difference was not magic, it was better timing. Breakfast began to feel easier and more alert, and normal daytime activities required less effort. How do you know whether your bedtime is actually working? First, sleepiness should begin arriving at a fairly predictable time. You should be able to go to bed without a long struggle. Falling asleep should usually happen within a reasonable period. Your sleep should be mostly continuous, not perfectly uninterrupted. Brief awakenings can still be completely normal. Morning should arrive near a consistent hour. You should not wake feeling severely drugged or exhausted every day. Daylight should help you feel alert fairly quickly. Breakfast and simple morning tasks should feel manageable. Walking should not feel like you are dragging yourself through fog. Your energy should become steadier across the day. You should be less likely to fall asleep unintentionally in the evening. If you nap, it should not destroy nighttime sleep. Those are more useful signs than obsessing over one clock number. Compare how you function now with how you felt before. The best schedule is the one that produces a stable rhythm. Normal daily life should begin feeling easier. That does not mean every single night will be perfect. It means the overall pattern is moving in the right direction. When should you speak with a doctor? Start with sleep problems that continue despite a consistent routine. Persistent symptoms over many nights deserve attention. Severe daytime sleepiness is especially important. If you are too sleepy to drive safely, do not drive. Loud snoring, gasping, or breathing pauses also matter. Morning headaches and heavy fatigue can be important clues. New confusion after repeated poor sleep should not be ignored. Falls or unusual unsteadiness also deserve medical attention. Your clinician can evaluate sleep in the context of your overall health. Mood changes can also interfere with sleep. Anxiety, depression, grief, and stress are worth discussing openly. Sleep does not exist separately from the rest of your body. A good evaluation looks at the whole picture. In some cases, a sleep study may be recommended. That can measure breathing and other signals during the night. Then the results can guide a more specific plan. Getting answers is often better than continuing to guess. Home habits and medical evaluation can work together. Persistent or dangerous symptoms deserve professional care. So let us bring everything together. After 60, your internal clock may begin shifting earlier. That means the best bedtime depends partly on when you naturally wake. Keep wake time as your strongest anchor. Use morning light to reinforce that rhythm. Dim evening light and calmer activities can support the opposite signal. Keep naps brief and earlier if they interfere with nighttime sleep. Go to bed when genuine sleepiness arrives. Avoid being dramatically too late or unnecessarily too early. The goal is alignment, not perfection. For many early rising older adults, 9:30 to 10:30 is a useful starting window. Then give yourself enough opportunity for deep and restorative sleep. Let morning light arrive at roughly the same time each day. Notice how you feel when you wake. Use that energy to begin the day with gentle movement. Healthy sleep supports independence, mood, cognition, and daytime function. Do not become anxious about hitting one exact minute. Your body cares more about rhythm than a perfect number. Remember the combination timing, consistency, darkness, light, and sufficient sleep? Share this information with someone who is struggling with the same pattern. And if this helped, consider following the channel for more senior health guidance. In the next video, we will look at sleep position after 60, because the way you lie can affect snoring and breathing. It can also influence nighttime reflux. Your sleep position may change how your back feels in the morning, and it can affect comfort and circulation through the night. That is why the next question is not only when you sleep, but also how you position your body while you sleep. For tonight, keep your routines simple and let your body do the work. Until then, take care of yourself, protect your sleep, and rest well.